Now, SVP and Russillo on ESPN Radio.
Today's guest list has been fantastic. It continues with Lance Briggs of the Chicago Bears on site with us. And Lance, everybody's here to do a little business. I want to get this out of the way so that we do not short shrift you on the backside. You got a New Era lid on. What are you doing with New Era?
Well, I was one of the ambassadors for the NFL and New Era last year. And this year, the new campaign is speak your voice. Speak your voice with the hat. And so it's taking the campaign to the people and having the fans kind of interact. So the fans are now the ambassadors as well as the football players.
Okay, so the sweet New Era lid and shirt on, as you see on Lance. And a lot of guys are coming here, and you do business with the people you're in business with. But your business is to play football.
Yes, it is.
How difficult is it to come to a town where they're going to have a big game down the road here on Sunday and you're not in it?
It's tough. It's tough to come out. It's tough to, even though it's a football weekend and everyone here is centered around football. They're centered around Baltimore Ravens and San Francisco 49ers. But as well as all the NFL guys, they know the NFL people are going to be here, and you're going to see a lot of guys that have played the league. But it's still tough, because you fight so hard to get into this game. And kudos to the guys that are in it. But at the same time, it's hard.
Lance Briggs of the Bears, ESPN Radio. When you watch the linebackers for the Niners play, what do you see?
I see great interior play from Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman. I see great defensive lineman play from Aldon Smith. Those guys get downhill, they bull rush, they make a lot of plays. They cause a lot of problems for offenses.
Are they the best linebackers in the league?
Collectively, probably. I mean, you have two teams with some of the best linebackers.
I'm curious about how you feel about Lovie Smith's exit, win 10 games. A lot of people they were almost outraged. Hey, how can a guy win this many games and he moves on? How do you feel about that decision and the transition now to a new coach?
Whether I like it or not is kind of irrelevant.
Well, it sounds like you don't like it then.
Right. I didn't. No, of course I didn't like Lovie Smith getting fired. I spent 9 years with him. I learned a lot from him. We've developed something special, Chicago, especially, defensively. But it's business, and that's the way it goes. It's happened, and now, it's the Mark Trestman era.
Lance Briggs of the Chicago Bears is with us. We had Justin Tuck on a little bit earlier, and we were talking about this off-air and laughing to a degree because every player, regardless of who they play for, is going to think about the what-ifs. But in his case with the Giants and in your case with Chicago, the what-ifs are real. I mean, you guys are this close from being a playoff team and throwing your hat in the ring, and then it could have been anything. Right. What do you look back on this year and maybe, I don't want to say regret the most, but what do you feel like was the difference between being in it and not being in it?
I think the difference is the missed opportunities, the potential, to be a power in all phases.
Were there any specific games that you think back on, like to keep you up at night, anything like that?
The Minnesota game, for one. The Minnesota game was a game where we had a couple turnovers that they scored touchdowns off of. We dropped some touchdowns,
Brandon had it on his hands there late. No,
right.
Actually, it was
Alshon Jeffrey had one.
Forte, too. Forte had almost had a touchdown, I think.
And, Devin dropped one, it was just –
That's what it was.
Right, and it was a game that we should have won. Everybody's going to say that during the year, but it was a game we should have won, and we win that game, it changes the outcome of the playoff.
So if you're close, then what becomes the difference maker for this Bear team to take a step forward? You say it's a new era. I mean, what and on your hat and in Chicago, but what has to happen to take the step forward?
Well, Phil Emery hired an offensive genius, offensive guru, and that's the things that's the first thing you think of when you think of Mark Trestman and at least from what I've been told and what I've read on him. I think the point of interest is offense.
I'm wondering how you guys will react to Trestman. Now, offensively, he probably won't have as much to do with you as maybe a Lovie did, but considering he's coming from the CFL, it's an outside-the-box type of hire. Is this the kind of thing where vets on the team, if there's any inclination to doubt him, will maybe doubt him too quickly?
No,
I understand what you're going to say.
Initially,
here and go, we don't
initially
like
doubt. Yeah, initially doubt goes through everybody's mind because on our defense, we don't think there's anything wrong. There's nothing wrong with us on defense. There's nothing wrong, and so to make changes to something that there's nothing wrong with, the first thing that goes in your mind is you can only hurt it, So, but we're vets, and we understand this is a change, and you got to stay positive about it, and work through it. Brought in Mel Tucker, and I haven't spoken to any of these coaches yet, but staying positive and knowing that things are going to work out.
Have you had any conversations with Lovie about what's next for him?
No. You know, the last thing that I talked to him on when he was on his way out was just to thank him. You know, thank him for all the years and you know what he's meant to me. You know, it's really what he's meant to me is more than just a coach. You know, just about being a man and how he's always treated me and us. You know, I just respectful. I'm really grateful.
Because obviously this year there were 8 openings and none was filled by an African-American man. In the case of Lovie Smith, I have zero doubts that he'll have an opportunity. And what I don't know the answer to, Lance, is whether or not he faded options or if he's just going to go ahead and wait to choose the right thing. Mm-hmm. Do you have any doubts that he'll get another shot and succeed someplace?
He should. You know, if
I know you're not a GM.
Right. I'm not a GM. I'm definitely not. If I were, I'd hire him. But you know, I think Lovie's a smart hire for any team, you know, and what he builds and what he brings to the table. You know, he'll bring a winner to whatever team hires him.
What's this week like for you? Because you guys come in like mercenaries. Seriously, you do like 2 days and you go, get me out of here.
Yeah, it's you know, and as I fly in, I have my schedule. Hey, you're going to be here for an hour, and then you're going to have a little bit of break, and then you have here for another 2 hours, and then you catch your plane, you're out.
So it's literally, you're on the ground for 24 in New Orleans, not even.
Right, right.
Well, you've done your bit for New Era. You've checked us out in the last 30 seconds here because nobody wants to do this, but you seem like the kind of guy that's going to tell me what he thinks. Who wins the football game?
Pretty sure. You know, it's hard to make predictions. I want Ray Lewis to go out the right way, but I played against San Francisco. They're a tough team, you know, great offensive scheme, great defense. So I'm NFC.
So what you'd like to see is Ray get his walk-off, but what you think you'll see is San Francisco win.
Yep.
I thought that's what I heard. Lance, it's good to see you. New Era Thanks, Caps, man. Check them out, and good luck with the new regime in Chicago. Very, very close to taking the next step. Hope you guys do.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Appreciate it. Remember, for all Super Week on Twitter, check it out. The hashtag is ESPN Radio, NOLA, or at ESPN Radio.